beautiful souls. Today I'm going to be going over how to integrate after a plant medicine ceremony. Welcome or welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Chica, your conscious mentor, and today I'm going to be going over how to integrate your energy after a plant medicine ceremony. Maybe you've done ayahuasca, shrooms, San Pedro, or any of those plants that you feel called to. Let me know down below what plants you have been connecting with or wanting to connect with, or maybe you're just about to enter a plant medicine ceremony and you want to learn how to integrate. This is the most important part. I just got back from sitting with grandmother ayahuasca, and it was such a profound experience. I will be sharing more about my experience. It is my 4th time sitting with her. I got to sit with her 2 times during this retreat, and now I'm kind of integrating my energy, and after a few times I've learned what things I should do after to really take advantage of what I learned throughout this weekend. There's a lot of downloads, there's a lot of things that you need to process, and in doing that, that requires time, that requires a lot of other things as well. So I'm going to go over those quick tips for you guys. Before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells. I do 3 or more videos every single week: new moon and full moon meditations, healings, all the things to help you in your consciousness. And today's subscriber of the day is Veronica. Thank you so much for being part of this amazing family. Let's get into the video. So the first and foremost thing is, when you come back from a plant medicine, the intention of it is every plant has its energy of its own. It has its own knowledge, its own consciousness, and it teaches us so many lessons. I remember sitting with Mama Ayahuasca, or even with shrooms and other plant medicines. I always need to build that relationship. And one thing I want you to know is, even when you leave that retreat, when you leave that ceremony, that energy is still within you for a good couple weeks, sometimes months, depending. So the first and foremost tip on how to integrate after a plant medicine ceremony is to allow yourself to be, to allow yourself to process. How do you do that? By allowing yourself to be in silence. Even during in between the ceremony of ayahuasca, or even after, coming down from a shroom experience, one thing I will say is you have to allow yourself to take in all that information. So with a silenced mind, as you do when you enter into a ceremony, you want to continue to have that. So less time on your phone. I always turn off my phone before ceremony, and I continue to turn off my phone until I feel called to turn it on again. I let people know that this is a time of me just disconnecting. I don't need to tell them exactly that I'm going into myself, but just letting them know that I'm away from my phone at this time. This is also a time to be mindful to not be on social media. So one of the biggest things when you're on social media, it's so easy for us to scroll, and we're going back into those habits. We're going back to an aspect of ourselves, not really appreciating the essence and the energy of the plant. So really just making sure that you can totally be with your emotions, especially going so deep within your shadow self, connecting with your higher self, getting major downloads, and so much more. So that's like the first part that I would say. The second tip I would give you is your diet. Diet is so important. Dieta is something that we talk about. There's various dietas depending on what plants that you're connecting with. I usually like to be a little bit more strict around my dieta, because I know if I do the work before and I go sit with a plant, that allows me to be an open vessel, right? If I go eat some junk food, fried food, days before, and then I sit with something so pure, the vibration of that energy going into a body that isn't higher vibration is just gonna end up being less conscious, less of an experience, less clear, more confusion. So the more you respect the plant by allowing it to be in an open vessel, in a fertilized and well taken care of body and energy space and aura and being, the better that you're going to be able to get more out of this plant. So I noticed that a lot with myself, and I'm sure a lot of you might have noticed that. Dietas, what they look like. I do talk about how to prepare for an ayahuasca experience. I believe I did a video on that. But all of that to experience with that tips and the tips that I've given you, you can apply that for mushrooms as well. You can apply that for San Pedro. you can apply that for many other ones that are out there. Now after, the importance of it is to continue to respect the plant because it's still working through you. So I would suggest, no dairy, trying to stay away from meat, specifically like red meat, chicken, even fish, depending on the plant and dieta. Usually you can ask the shaman or the person who's facilitating it, or you can just comment down below and ask me, and I'd be more than happy to answer for you guys. But just making sure that you are not having animals in there. And one thing that my shaman shared with me that I really just I wanted to share with you guys is that think about the pollution in the water nowadays. There's so much metal and so much toxicity in the world, and we don't eat as much pure foods as we think we are. And that's why I encourage people, and she kind of reiterated as well, that it's important that we eat organic. It's important that we support our farms. It's important that we support local, because wherever you are, that's what's going to allow us to continue to have the food and the supply that we have today. So it's more than just a plant experience and integration at that point. It's supporting yourself and taking that and really seeing the effects of your energy and how you can be a better person to the plant even when you're not working inside of it. It's almost like giving back to the earth and yourself. So as far as how to integrate eating, the no meat, the dairy, having things that are as less processed as possible. I love to make my own salad dressings, making a yummy curry, vegan curry. These types of things are going to be really good, and it really allows you to have gratitude. One thing I love about after a plant medicine retreat, and let me know your thoughts on this, I'd love to hear you guys in the comments, is that your palate is completely cleansed. After my ayahuasca experience, I felt like a strawberry was chocolate. I felt like it was candy. And I was just so grateful for that fruit and the deliciousness of it and the taste of it and the beauty of it. So allow yourself to take that with you in conscious eating while the plant is working with you in a vessel, in a body that is completely clean of toxicities, clean of GMOs, clean of, metal that comes in the ocean, all of that stuff that we don't know, but it really makes a huge effect on us and cells that don't serve us, i.e. creating more damage into the body, right? The plants, how it works is you have to meet it halfway. You can't expect to go and sit with a plant and just have everything fixed for you and you're like, okay, I'm great, I got this amazing download, now I'm ready to go into my world. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to really allow yourself to continue to practice. What did I learn from that huge download I had about my gifts, or how I had to release this trauma? And what did the plant or the energy of the plant show me, and how can I integrate that into my everyday life? How can I take that into my everyday life in a way of gratitude? And that's what we're doing with food. We're being grateful for the pureness of the earth, because if it wasn't for the earth's pureness, you wouldn't have the opportunity to even do a plant medicine experience, right? So that's the beauty of it. The third one is journaling. That's huge. I just finished writing 2 pages, typing 2.5 pages of my first night of ayahuasca. And I'm not even done my full download. There's still more coming through. Like talking to you guys right now, I'm like, ooh, need to write that down, need to do this, right? And when you can write things down, it allows your mind to stop racing, especially if you're like going to, retreat or like being with yourself and really diving deep, and then you're going back to your busy life. It's a lot, right? So allowing yourself to take it slower, that's what the plants teach us, to be more in the state of being, to be out of our mind, to tap into the subconscious, whether that's creatively through mushrooms, through shadow, darkness, and light, through ayahuasca, through love, through San Pedro, or any other plant, right? So we have to allow ourselves to completely integrate that energy by writing down and word vomiting. And I love doing this because sometimes I'll write it down, I'll date it, and the next time I sit with that plant, or the next time I do a plant medicine ceremony, or even if I feel like there's a block or something, just like an epiphany or an enlightenment, I'll go through my journal and I'll flip through it and see what page the universe wants me to read and go through it, and I'll be like, wow, that was me 3 months ago. Look how much the plant has changed my life. right? So part of the long term of integrating with the plant medicine is going back to those journals, going back to what you wrote and seeing what you said and how you've healed. Because even though, and this was another thing I learned I want to share with you guys in our sharing circle, even though there's so much we're releasing, like ancestral or pains that are not ours, right? Because we are our own, we're not all of our pains, you know, they come from our parents and before that and before that and before that. So there's this long history of energy. And even though we've done so much and you've gone through so much, and there's a reason why you felt called to go through the plant medicine, you made it this far, right? So we need to appreciate that. We need to be kinder to ourselves and our soul of how much we've shifted, how much we've changed. How do we do that? By writing it down and going back to it as appreciation. Not going back to it and staying in the past, seeing it and appreciating it from our present and being with that. That's the beauty of plant medicine. It allows us to see what we've done, what we've shifted, and be able to expand it and really learn from it beyond our being by connecting with this powerful plant that's been in this earth for years and years and years and years and years and years and knows more information that even the technology that is made today doesn't know, right? So it's so beautiful to have that. The last thing I will say is that before going back to your busy day, allow yourself to add some practices and be mindful with your daily practices. So ask yourself, how will I integrate these lessons and grow from them, right? So if she showed you or he showed you, whatever the energy of this plant is, they showed you something about yourself. How will you shift that? How will you learn from it? How will you take that information and integrate it in your meditations? Integrate it in your life. It's beautiful. I really think it's just so amazing that we are able to connect that, you know, maybe set some shadow work questions for yourself right after that you can meditate on every day. Choose one that resonates with you. Sit with it for 5 to 10 minutes. Breathe into it in certain parts of your body, taking into that shadow work. A lot of people are like, Shika, how do you start the shadow work? I want to do plant medicine. Okay, I did the plant medicine. How do I shift from that? By doing exactly that, by writing down shadow work prompts from your experience and bringing them into meditation or into your daily practices, such as journaling, scripting, meditation, setting intention to crystals. If you've noticed that a lot of trauma in the womb, like for me, for example, I'm releasing not my own, but others. And Yoni steams has been something I've been gravitating to. And then when I sat with plant, I was like, oh, that's why. I am taking care, I am loving my Yoni, and she needed some more love. So I'm gonna make sure I do at least twice a month a Yoni steam and schedule it into my schedule, you know? That's where we can balance masculine energy with feminine, surrendering while creating responsibility of what we need to do based on what the plant has taught us. Listening to the plant, you know, and that's how we shift. That's how we continue to integrate properly and not have people who sit with plants over and over and over again. And I always say, like, if you've sat with it so many times and you're still coming to the same issues, there's something going on there, right? We need to go a little bit deeper. What's underlying with that plant? So integration with plant medicine is so important. It's equally as important as sitting with the plant, because that's where all the work is shown and lied into. So I really hope you guys like those tips of how to do that and how to integrate your energy and how to integrate with plant medicine after ceremony. Really taking care of your food, really, you know, focusing on writing prompts on, you know, shadow work and adding that into your daily routine. Giving yourself time and space to be. Tell your loved ones you need this time, you know, communicate that. Create boundaries within that. And don't rush back to the rat wheel, you know? We're not doing that. We're coming back in, we're coming back home to our soul, and it's beautiful. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like me to do more videos on plant medicine, or which I definitely want to do, please let me know in the comment section exactly what types of things about plant medicine or how I can support you, maybe in your next ceremony, or maybe you want to learn about a certain plant. I definitely want to start talking about plants like Hape, Sanunga, Aya, like all these other plants, some plants that people don't even know, like mumbe, that there's not much information but can be so healing, and you can add it to your practice. Let me know down below. I'd love, love, love to hear. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells so you don't miss a video. I will definitely be posting a video on my Aya experience that I'm currently just being with and integrating. And I love you guys so, so much. Happy integration of plant medicine. Bye.